The soul doesn't collapse in a single moment. It doesn't scream or shatter or burn. It fades, quietly, like a candle left in an empty room, flickering, whispering its final light. Every day, the choices we make, what we accept, what we ignore, what we become, either feed that light or drain it. We lose ourselves not through great tragedies, but through the slow erosion of truth within us. These are 9 personality traits that slowly destroy your soul. Not in violence, but in silence. And if you listen closely, you may recognize the sound of your own soul calling back from the dark. 1. The need for control. Control feels safe. It gives the illusion that life can be mastered, that chaos can be tamed. But every time you grip tighter, life slips further from your hands. The need for control is not strength. It's fear wearing armor. It's the refusal to dance with uncertainty. Those who cannot trust the unknown will never discover what was meant for them. When you try to dominate every outcome, you don't shape destiny, you suffocate it. The river does not resist its path to the ocean. It flows because it trusts. And those who learn to trust the flow of life find the true power was never in control, but in surrender. 2. The addiction to validation. We all long to be seen, to be understood, to be loved. But when your worth depends on how loudly the world applauds, your soul becomes a puppet pulled by invisible strings. Validation is like salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. Every time you live for someone's approval, you abandon yourself a little more. You become the echo of other people's expectations and forget the sound of your own voice. The soul starves in a crowd. It grows only in the quiet, when no one is watching, and you finally realize you were always enough. 3. The habit of blaming. Blame is the language of the powerless. It gives comfort, but not growth. When something breaks, we point outward, at the world, at others, at fate. But every time you say, "They made me this way," you hand them the keys to your cage. Pain is not punishment, it's a message. And until you read it, it keeps returning in new forms, different faces, different stories, same lesson. Your life is the reflection of your choices. Take responsibility, not because it's easy, but because it's the only path that leads you home. 4. The fear of being alone. Solitude, the most feared place for the modern soul. We drown ourselves in noise because silence exposes the truth. But in that silence, you meet yourself. When you can sit alone without reaching for distraction, you begin to hear the faint heartbeat of your soul. And that's where peace begins. The lonely man is not the one without company. It's the one who cannot stand his own reflection. Learn to walk alone in the dark, and the night will start to glow. 5. The desire for revenge. Revenge promises closure, but gives only chains. You can't heal by becoming what hurt you. The fire you light for someone else will always burn you first. Revenge is the soul's way of saying, I don't know how to let go. But letting go is not weakness, it's mastery. Forgiveness isn't saying it's fine, it's saying I'm free. Because when you release hatred, you release yourself from the story that trapped you. Peace doesn't come from payback. It comes from finally walking away and realizing you never needed to win, only to heal. 6. The fear of change. Many souls die in comfort. They spend their entire lives protecting what no longer serves them. Change feels like death because something must die. The old self, the old story, the old certainty. But without endings, there are no beginnings. The seasons teach us. Even the trees let go of their leaves, not because they want to, but because they trust that spring will return. You are not who you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. The more you resist change, the more you suffer. The soul was never meant to be still. It was meant to evolve, to shed, to become. 7. The illusion of superiority. Ego is the cleverest illusion. It whispers, you are better than them. But what it really means is, you are afraid of being small. Superiority is the mask of insecurity. It isolates, divides, and blinds. Every time you place yourself above others, you lose the ability to see truth. And truth is what your soul feeds on. When you blind yourself with pride, you starve your ability to connect. Ego isolates, but the soul thrives in unity. Remember, the more you try to rise above others, the more you fall beneath yourself. True greatness isn't about being seen. It's about seeing others clearly. When the heart is humble, it becomes a mirror for wisdom. It reflects without distortion. And what it reflects is love. When you stop competing with others, you start creating with them. And creation, not comparison, is the highest form of intelligence. 8. The habit of living in the past. The past is a comfortable prison. Its doors are wide open, yet we keep walking back inside. Memories are meant to teach, not to trap. When you replay what's gone, you keep bleeding from a wound that healed long ago. Let the past rest. Let the ghosts fade. You cannot rewrite what has ended, but you can write what begins now. The soul exists only in this moment. The breath you take, the silence you hold, the awareness you feel right now. So close the door gently and walk back into the light of the present. 9. The fear of feeling. To feel is to live. Yet most people spend their lives running from emotion. They hide from sadness. They distract from pain. They fear the depth of their own heart. But emotion is sacred. It's the language of the soul. Every tear is proof that you were here. Every ache is evidence that you cared. To feel deeply is to experience the divine. not in temples or stars, but within the beating heart. Don't be afraid of what you feel. Embrace it, breathe it, let it transform you. Because what you feel is who you truly are beneath all masks. Outro, the soul's reminder. Your soul isn't asking for perfection, it's asking for truth. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, forgiveness over pride, peace over noise, you reclaim a piece of yourself. The soul doesn't die from pain. It dies from disconnection. Reconnect through silence, through honesty, through love that expects nothing. Because at the end, it's not about who you impressed, but who you became when no one was watching. This was Mystery Tales. Mind to Matter.